Hey everybody, it's Bruce here with Traveling with Bruce. Look at this photo right here, this video. Right now, it's the end of September 2020, and in the next month and a half or so, a lot of us in North America are going to be starting to get this kind of weather. Just thought I'd remind everybody, summer's over and winter is coming, and big news coming out of the U.S. today regarding the future of cruising and whether or not we're going to get out of this weather this winter or not. Thank you, all of you, for following my channel, Traveling with Bruce. Those of you who have become subscribers, following me on my Facebook group page and throwing these videos thumbs ups and giving me your comments, I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Love having you as part of the TWB family. You want to have some fun with us? Monday night, 7 o'clock Eastern Time is the live hangout show for sponsor members. Join today and become part of the TWB family for that event. And all of you wearing the and picking up the swag from Redbubble, thank you for picking up TWB items. The links are all down below. Well, the CDC, let's talk about it. The elephant in the room. We have been waiting now for days and days, it feels like weeks, for the latest updates regarding the no sail order out of U.S. ports, whether or not it's going to be lifted, and if it's going to be lifted, when. And there has been, apparently behind the scenes, a huge struggle going on between the CDC and other entities. Apparently, late yesterday, rumors began to leak out that the CDC director had proposed that there would be no sailings out of U.S. ports until March 2021. In other words, that there would be another 4 to 5 month total shutdown and ban on all cruise ships with 250 or more passengers using U.S. ports. However, the other side of the story was that the powers that be up in Washington have decided to overrule the CDC and basically only have the shutdown last for another month. So the difference between the two sides is striking. How one side wants everything lifted in 30 days, the other side wants to continue the shutdown for 150 days. Who do you trust? Who do you believe? And what do you do as a potential cruise ship passenger? I'm addicted to cruising. A lot of my viewers on this channel are addicted to cruising. We want to desperately get on these cruise ships and enjoy ourselves. And why not? Winter is just around the corner, and we can't wait to escape it. Unfortunately, the United States seems to be all by itself. If it's going to go with a resumption of cruising across all U.S. ports, they're basically going it alone because even today, another cruise line has announced a delay of cruising until next year into March, and that's a cruise line out of the United Kingdom, Sega Cruises. They've just taken delivery of a brand new cruise ship, the New Spirit of Adventure, and they have delayed its first sailing for passengers until next March, because the bottom line is the United Kingdom has banned cruising for all UK nationals in the UK, and it's an indefinite suspension. There isn't even a startup date. It's indefinite, where in the USA, it seems that the cruise lines have exerted unbearable pressure on certain people in certain positions, and they have really used their muscle, their lobbying muscle, to convince or try to convince the U.S. officials to allow cruising to begin again out of U.S. ports. For those of us on the outside looking in, it's a ball of confusion. I personally just do not know whether or not I would even take a free cruise right now out of any U.S. port, because the issues that we face as travelers, and of course in my case I'm from Canada, so I have to cross the U.S. border. That's a challenge in itself, but I can fly down to the USA. They keep telling me that. But when I return, I have to go into a 14-day quarantine upon my return from anywhere in the United States. That's a problem. Maybe not so much for me, because if I can quarantine myself and my beautiful Jennifer Aniston lookalike wife here in Creston, British Columbia, I can keep making videos on my computer. But for those folks who have day jobs, they if they have to leave their house for employment, they're screwed, and they're not going to leave in the first place. United Kingdom travelers will not be allowed into the USA right now, and if they do try to return back home, they're under a mandatory 2-week quarantine. Many other countries have 0 travel advisories to the United States. Most airlines are not flying internationally into the U.S. right now because the United States is deemed to be too unstable with regards to the exposure of the virus to any traveler coming into the country. The other issue is, of course, there are certain areas in the USA where the virus is not a factor, but there are other areas in the United States where the virus is a big deal. And cruise ships tend to attract passengers from everywhere because a ship like you're looking at here, the Mariner of the Seas, is a ship that can handle thousands and thousands of tourists. You're not going to get just Floridians coming on this ship or just people from Texas. You're going to get people from all over the United States, and generally speaking, under normal circumstances, people from all over the world will fly into Florida to catch a cruise on this wonderful cruise line and wonderful ship. Of course, we all want to visit places like this, St. Thomas with the cable cars. We want to visit St. Martin. We want to do those Caribbean cruises in the wintertime. Love to get to Belize and Mexico and other stops. But the other issue, of course, is even if the U.S. were to open up again, a number of these Caribbean countries may not allow cruise ships in because they're afraid of the unknown. And the unknown is how many of these people on board these ships don't have symptoms, but they have the virus. And without a vaccine in place, there's no barrier between, ourselves. We can't even have the vaccine here in the Caribbean nations, our island nations. The folks in America haven't got a vaccine. Why on earth would we allow thousands of people into our port on a daily basis? Because keep in mind, these places like Saint Martin right here, they can have as many as 6 ships in a day come in, and even with 2,000 passengers each, that's still 12,000 people a day, 80,000 a week coming into this little tiny island nation with limited hospitalization facilities and quarantine facilities. They would be overrun. And if only 5 or 10 people a day came to the island with the virus and spread it to 10 or 20 or 30 a day, you're talking 200 cases a week in no time, 1,000 cases a month in no time visiting the island. That would be devastating for Saint Martin, St. Thomas, Barbados, you name the area that you might want to visit. Here in Seattle, the other issue, of course, is no Alaska cruises for this year. There may not be any for all of next year because Canadian ports might be off limits. And so there's a ton of uncertainty here still overhanging everything, but like I said, we'll stay on top of it as we always do. Thank you for subscribing to this channel, following me, thumbing up my videos. I appreciate it. And one last clip for you. Here's what I'd rather be doing. I'll tell you right now, I was down in LA last year. I visited my daughter, and I rented one of those scooters, and these are so much fun. Even in the winter, you're wearing a little bit of a windbreaker, but the beach, you gotta love it. Anyway, thanks everybody. We'll see you later. Bye for now.